When Dodge set out to design its first electric car, it wanted it to make some noise. Literally. The Dodge Charger Daytona is the brand's first electric car, and according to Dodge, the first electric muscle car. It's not the most powerful or quickest or fastest electric car we've seen so far, but you could say that about internal combustion engine muscle cars as well. It's really more about the whole vibe. And Dodge definitely tried to give it a vibe. First, there's the styling, which is clearly a modern take on the classic Dodge muscle car look. And it's the same whether you get the standard RT, which starts at $61,590, or this Scat Pack that's priced at $70,190. Both come with all-wheel drive systems. The RT's has 496 horsepower. This one, 670. And it needs it because this thing is enormous. It's over 200 inches long. In fact, Dodge is going to offer it later this year in a 4-door model using this same body. And actually, if I'm accurate, I should say a 5-door because this one is really a 3-door with a liftback and a very spacious cargo area that can be expanded by folding down the rear seats. It's almost more like the old Dodge Magnum station wagon than the last generation Charger sedan. And unlike most 2-door muscle cars, since it's so big, the back seat has enough room for a 6'1" passenger to fit behind a 6'1" driver. Up front, you get dual digital displays like a lot of cars these days, especially electric ones. And even though they're the basic tablet-style screens, kind of like the way they've been integrated, particularly this one, the touchscreen, which is easily within reach and has this row of touchpad controls for the climate control underneath it. But overall, it's got that kind of strong, tough guy look you expect from a Dodge, which is accented by this attitude adjustment lighting system, which can be changed to any color you want. Although red does seem appropriate for a Dodge. Aside from that, it's pretty conventional and straightforward. You even get a console-mounted shifter with a modern take on the pistol grip. Dodge is also going to be launching a Charger 6-pack later this year that's powered by a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine. But since this doesn't have one of those under the hood, there's room for an optional frunk. But perhaps more important than that, it allowed Dodge to come up with this clever feature it calls the R-Wing, which is named after Gary Romberg, who was an aerodynamic engineer who worked on the Saturn V rocket program and the 1969 Charger Daytona that was designed for high speeds on NASCAR tracks. Like the original, what this does is give the car essentially a nose cone that helps reduce drag, which is very important with an electric vehicle for range, but it also maintains that bold, aggressive muscle car face. And every bit of range helps because with this wide body style and the foot-wide tires that come on the Scat Pack, this only has 241 miles of range between charges, while the RT can do 308. But the feature that takes the Daytona to the next level of muscle cardom is the Fratzonic Chambered Exhaust. The name comes from an old Dodge logo called the Fratzog that's been resurrected for this car. And the system includes transducers and sound tubes that shape the noise as it comes out of the exhaust to give it a more natural, warm sound than if you just stuck a couple speakers on the back of the bumper. Dodge put a lot of effort into this thing because it knew trying to get people used to V8s and supercharged V8s into an electric muscle car was not going to be easy. The sound really is something else. If you want, you can turn it off. And admittedly, I've been doing that a lot as I've tested this over a couple of days. But every once in a while, you want some rock and roll, right? As far as winning over muscle car converts, as a daily driver, I don't think anybody will have a problem with this. It is a supreme cruiser. It has a very smooth ride, even with those steamroller tires. And since it weighs about 5,800 pounds, it feels like a tank. But with all that power and the instant electric motor torque, it moves around effortlessly. Does not feel that heavy at all. As far as that power is concerned, this has several drive modes, and if you leave it in auto or sport, you only get 630 horsepower, but there's a button on the wheel here that says power shot, and when you hit that, you get an extra 40 horsepower for 15 seconds. Now, if you want to lock in the full 670 horsepower, you have to switch to drag mode, and stay tuned for that. But track mode is a little more interesting. It limits the power to just 535 horsepower to keep it more consistent during a session on a road course type track. If you go full power, the motors and the battery with the regenerative braking are going to start heating up and not performing at their peak level. Whereas at 535, it'll just stay there all day. Plus, you still get the power shot for an extra 40 horsepower whenever you want it. This also has a drift mode that loosens up the stability control system, throws a little more power toward the rear for drifting, and a donut mode that pretty much shuts the stability control system and the traction control completely off, turns into a rear-wheel drive car so you can do donuts. It's literally all it's for. Haven't had the opportunity to drive this on a road course, but I've driven it on several windy roads, and it takes the curves very nicely. It has lots of grip, and this particular car is equipped with an optional track pack that adds an adaptive suspension system that keeps the body under perfect control. The package also comes with ultra high performance Brembo brakes, rear spoiler, and some other goodies. This particular car is pretty much fully loaded, also has this full panoramic sunroof and a 16-speaker Alpine audio system, and the final price, $86,000. And since this is a car, not an SUV or a truck, it doesn't qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit, which only kicks in under $55,000 for cars. This also has all the goodies you'd expect of a modern car: automatic emergency brake-in, 360-degree camera system, and a very good lane centering adaptive cruise control. It's not hands-off, but it does a great job holding the center of the lane. I absolutely love driving this car. Could easily have it as a daily driver. My only gripe is that driving range, 241 miles, just really isn't far enough. And this doesn't charge very quickly. Needs at least a half hour, usually more, to get to 80% at a DC fast charger. Aside from that, as controversial as this has become, I can't imagine anybody hating on it once they get behind the wheel. But it really doesn't matter what I think, because there's one place this absolutely has to live up to the reputation of something that looks and sounds like a muscle car. So you're a Mopar guy, obviously.
Yep.
Is an electric muscle car still a muscle car?
That one I'm gonna put in the category. Actually, let's see you run first, and then we'll decide. But the car is absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna put it in there, yeah, for sure.
All right, so of course this has drag mode, which gives it full power, all 670 horsepower, and adjusts the adaptive suspension to control the weight transfer to give it the perfect launch, even though I'm the one driving. Man, there are really not a lot of things sadder than a drag strip in the rain. Although I gotta tell you, I enjoy sitting in this with the Fratzonic just rumbling along. Steering wheel and the seats and the door panels, it all vibrates. It really feels like there's an engine in this thing. I think it gets a little faker as you're driving and the revs increase, but just this sitting around rumble, it's pretty cool. It's so weird sitting here smelling the gasoline, knowing that it's not coming from here. They should put in one of those fragrance systems with a little petroleum smell. Oh, here we go. I see cars moving. Oh. Now, according to Dodge, this will do 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds at a quarter mile in 11.5, which makes it quicker than the original 2015 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. Of course, I'm not a professional drag racer or even very professional, so I'm not actually going to be going for those times, but maybe we'll do it by accident. All right, here we go. Got some German metal next to me, but again, I am not racing. This is a test and tune. I'm also not tuning, just testing. Oh no, red light. We got rain? What's going on? Rain? Oh! But I got all-wheel drive. No good on a drag strip, too dangerous. I was just sitting here rumbling again. It's too funny.
Just back up, pull off to the side for a minute, because they're going to run the tractor and drag everything again.
All right, let's bring out the dryers. Gonna give us another shot. Drag mode. Launch control. Oh, here we go. Let's get in our lights. All right. Pressure. And we're off. Oh, man. This thing just goes. I left that thing in the dirt. The sound really makes a big difference with this. I'm going to try it later without any. Oh, man. Too easy. So one thing I'm telling you that's missing, the old Challenger Hellcat was just an absolute monster. Really the last scary car I think I drove. This was pretty easy, but it's like a railgun, just total fun. Oh, I'm gonna do that again. Can't wait to see what that time was. Hang on, I got performance pages in here. I don't know if they're running. Oh, I didn't turn them on. Oh wait, there it is. I did a 11.6, wow! That's what the heads-up display is telling me. That's pretty good. Let's see what the actual time slip says. Thank you. Oh, can't wait to see this. What do we got? I'm blind, I can't read. Need my readers. Let's see what we got here. 11.7. Pretty close. So the built-in timer is pretty accurate, and the factory claims for the acceleration are pretty accurate. All right, so this time I'm going to try it again in stealth mode. Oh, wow. Immediately less fun. That's crazy. Wow. I mean, I can't tell you what a different experience this is without that rumble, even just sitting here right now. I don't think I'm going to enjoy this nearly as much. All right, let's do this again. Volume down. I can hear him. You know, I'm hearing different sounds this time. I'm hearing the electric motors, I think. A little bit, they're not very loud. Might actually just be tire noise. And there we go. You know, that was fun, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm turning the sound back on though. It just adds something, like why not? Dodge knows drag racing. I'll tell you, they know how to make a muscle car. I'm still looking forward to the straight six version of this, the Charger 6-pack, and a V8 if they make that, but this is a lot of fun. The only thing missing is there just isn't any skill involved with it. Even with an automatic, rear-wheel drive, you got to deal with the traction. This takes care of all that for you. All right. Sound back on. There we go. So while this is an all-wheel drive car and I wouldn't be doing a burnout in a water box anyway, that's the only thing wrong with this as far as being a muscle car is concerned. It can't do a burnout. It has that donut mode that makes it rear-wheel drive and shuts off the stability control, but they don't have a line lock or a standing burnout. It's kind of a bummer. Not even for the track, but just for doing muscle car stuff. All right, here we go. We're just doing this one for fun. We got it going on this time. Launch control, drag mode, sound up. Let's light those lights. Brake is down. Gas, let it go. It's a cool noise. Again, it's fun. It's not a challenge. You don't feel like you accomplished a whole lot, but it's a blast. That's what a muscle car is all about. And I had a nice drive here, hour and a half on the road. And I got to go home an hour and a half, and I'm not dreading it. This is a great road car. It's a great drag car. You know, they say third time's a charm, and I say, I don't like to press my luck, but I think I'm going to go fourth time and find out what that's all about.